Hello and welcome to episode 6 of season 3 at
Six.
the podcast for the recently deceased. I am Rodney Godek. With me as always.
Is Nate Roberts. How you
Yeah,
doing,
my
brother?
man. I'm doing excellent. So good to be back once again with you. Tonight's episode, the long anticipated Knock at the Cabin. M. Night Shyamalan back in the director's seat with a story based upon a book by Paul Tremblay, The Cabin at the End of the World. But there was a screenplay by Steve Desmond and M. Night Shyamalan, starring Dave Bautista, Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge, and I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't say Ron Weasley himself, Rupert Grint. So here we go. While vacationing, a girl and her parents are taken hostage by armed strangers who demand that the family make a choice to avert the apocalypse. Penned as a horror mystery thriller, one would expect the usual hijinks with an M. Light Shyamalan feature. His most recent one was Old, which I did not see. Did you?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not hear anything good about it, though.
No, I had not either. But look, I am obviously willing to give M. Night a chance because he started with greatness back in the days when Signs, The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, even for
Unbreakable.
me, The Village.
The
Those were
Village.
all wonderful movies that I think were maybe middle school for one or two, but high school films. And it was almost like
Yeah.
every year one of them was coming out, maybe 2 year span. I can't remember, but it wasn't frequently that there wasn't a movie of his to talk about in the cool twist. And unfortunately, it's a bit of a it's kind of what he was known for. And so then everyone expected twists and everything that he did. And clearly that wasn't what he wanted to hang his hat on. He wasn't always going to do that. And people got let down and bagged on him for it. But so Knock at the Cabin is like, okay, it could be anything. He's done so many different kinds of genre films with all kinds of varying degrees of success. Uh, this being adapted from a novel, I was kind of excited. Like, okay, this is a horror book film.
Yeah.
There's a horror novel that a lot of people know. This could be greatness. I started to doubt it more so when you told me you saw the trailer, and then you started to just because you were watching some movie, and you started to describe the fucking trailer to me. And you know that we neither of us want to hear trailers. You start to describe the whole trailer for me, but you got in a couple words, and those few words stuck with me the whole time that I watched this movie. I'm like, okay, Nate mentioned uh what's it called? Cabin in the Woods. And now I'm like thinking like, oh, okay, so like there's this apocalypse type thing. And it's like, yeah, Nate ruined the movie for me by saying Cabin in the Woods. And I didn't even see the trailer. All you said was Cabin in the Woods. And it was ruined to some extent. But again, there's not a whole lot here to really ruin because there could be interesting stuff going on, even if you know that premise.
Right.
But I think it's funny that you kind of were spoiled when you couldn't avert your eyes from a trailer in the
Yeah.
theater, and then you shared that gift with me.
Yeah. I'm very sorry for that. I mean, to be fair, I probably didn't ruin much. Um,
No, you didn't. I'm just being a little tease about it.
the
It's funny though because you can just say the one thing and it kind of does give a lot of what
it
you would anticipate
yeah, it really
away.
does. Um, so for me, I was excited to find out this was a screenplay adaptation
Hmm.
because we couldn't twist probably unless the book had its own twist. So he would have had to follow this the original story.
Sure. Well,
Generally, that happens.
right.
Not always.
No, and I've never read the book, but I've heard enough of other people talking about it that I know the divergence. So we can speak a little bit about that in a little bit later.
Okay. Uh, so as I'm watching, I'm I don't think it felt like an M Night movie. Um,
It's fair. Yeah.
yeah, like I think I was just watching, a middle of the road horror movie with a story that's been done before. Um, I kind of I liked the cast. I really liked Batista for some reason. The Leonard character was really like he
Hmm.
was not supposed to be funny, but like the way he was so calm and collected all the time and really just like focusing on the mission. As a second grade teacher was I thought it was very like a very interesting role for him and probably the character that I clung to the most, I think, through the movie.
Yeah, sure. It's unassuming. The word going around town is mild mannered, and it's atypical because look at him, and it's like,
Right.
whoa, this huge dude actually is a teacher. What?
Well, yeah.
You know, it doesn't have the same. It doesn't have the same kind of appeal as Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan when the crew finds out about his teaching, but it's you don't expect it. You don't see it coming, and so
Yeah.
except Nate, I will say you don't see it coming unless you're the movie Knock at the Cabin because you see everything coming and you know everything that's going to happen and you're just waiting for the other characters to realize what's happening in the movie because you're
Yeah.
already on board.
Yeah.
There's no questioning the validity of why they're at this cabin. And yet, the jackass protagonists in the film are still not sure. And it
Yeah.
takes so much to convince them that yes, the sky is blue, and it's so frustrating. And that's the thing that fails with this movie. And I think the divergence with the book. The book leaves a lot of ambiguity with the turn of the events, and it also has a character to die. Um, I think the daughter doesn't make it out, but it doesn't count as the sacrifice. She gets hit by a stray bullet during a struggle, and so it doesn't count. And so now they have to live with the weight of that, and then they have to make a choice, and
Between them.
they decide to not sacrifice, and they just walk off into the sunset unknowingly if the apocalypse is actually going to be happening or if everything that just happened was a complete ruse and they had this traumatic experience with psychos.
Oh, so that's how the book ends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the movie,
Which is much more exciting and interesting and thought provoking. The movie is like, no, hey, the apocalypse is here.
yeah,
These are the four horsemen. You need to do this. And it's just the debate.
yeah,
It's if they're going to do it. It's insane.
yeah. All right. So score it up.
Score it up. Oh, okay. So look, I'm pulling it up now. I just want to confirm. Yeah, I did not care for this movie. I thought that everything about it was very flat, not really emotionally evocative in any kind of way. Some of the performances were fine, but the story was so ham-fisted and silly without any real weight. The flashbacks that regularly occurred with the main characters that seemingly were informing parts of who they are now that I didn't think that was really doing that. It was just like little snippets, like slice of life. Why am I watching this? It has no point to their
It was to
psyche in this
it was
moment.
to make the movie longer.
Yeah, it was like padding out. It's insane. You know, signs on the verse on Converse there had different clips from different experiences that help to inform the decisions or at least put the question, is this coincidence or is this fate in some kind of way? And there's this play the whole movie with what you want to believe, and it lets you believe what you want to believe in it, but there's moving emotional experiences that occur. This movie doesn't do that. Any of those, they're not emotional. They don't evoke any feeling whatsoever. It's all very flat, and I'm just waiting for things to happen. And I don't think it's interesting. I gave Knock at the Cabin a 3 out of 10.
I gave it a 4. Just you know, it had Ron Weasley in it.
Who, in all fairness, Rupert Grint does play his role, albeit
Hey,
brief, well,
yeah, he rocked it.
for
Um,
sure.
There's a lot of
He's
this movie had a lot of decent like little nuggets. I thought like I really thought that the actress who played the daughter was excellent.
The kid was
Um,
wonderful. Yeah, she was sweet. She was precious. She didn't distract, which is what a child actor could do. She seemed legit to the character that she was supposed to be playing. I had no issues with her. She's wonderful. Uh, it's just all the other stuff that's going on. And I'm sorry, but the Dave Batista stuff, like, it is a bit ridiculous. The scene where Batista is speaking, like, I want to cut footage of one of us, like, tearfully saying the news to
Oh, right,
someone
right, right. Because he's seen it so
to
many
prove
times, he's
the
got it
point I've
memorized at
seen.
the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I want to do that as, like, the intro to the video, like, and it would take time to study the monologue and memorize it, but I wanna do it and do it in tears because, like, it just felt so stupid.
yeah.
Like, all of the ways that they've already proven that this is a real fucking thing that they're doing, for these characters to still question it was just crazy to me. Like, what is going on?
Well, I think
The
that
the t
I think they did a decent job of showing where Andrew would be still skeptical, like pretty much all the way to the end.
Well, he mentioned some things that would be a skeptic's belief as far as these batteries and the stuff, the timing of this occurring before you could actually see it. But that's the other thing too is the visuals that they show on the TV are so preposterous. Like it's not realistic. The beach from the movie Old is gonna have a tsunami, and it's like yeah, they're still recording in the water. It was somehow uploaded the minute like that it
Yeah,
happened,
it was
and
streaming live.
right. It's like, okay, you stuff the footage and it looks decent. Okay, that doesn't make sense, but whatever. Suspension of disbelief. Okay, I can get that. And then shit was the other ones were the quakes or the virus outbreaks. It's like oh, and then also
The
the
plane's
goddamn
falling.
Shyamalan, yeah, the plane's falling, but the Shyamalan cameo
Amazing fried chicken.
so unnecessary.
Hmm.
Do a little bit more tact. Like obviously with the movie occurring the way it is, they're in a cabin in the woods. There's no other characters that could be around here. It's not like he's gonna be Ranger Rick and show up at the window like, oh, just checking in, see you. This isn't the village. So the only way he could inject himself a la fucking Hitchcock, but with zero craft, is to put him on an infomercial with the goddamn slap chop, more or less. It's stupid. It's so stupid, so self-serving, just dumb to follow his same roles that he's got for himself with his movies. It's hacky at
Yeah,
best. So annoying. And it's crazy because these are good people and actors that could have made an interesting movie. They just had shit material. And I'm sorry, but the premise that was described in the book sounds so much better and intriguing, thought provoking. This is more or less, there's no doubt. The apocalypse is
yeah,
absolutely happening. And dude,
yeah, yeah. The apocalypse is happening. You just choose and kill the person, and this is said and done in over in 15 minutes. Um, and it just isn't, right?
well, and that's the thing. That could be a something to wrestle with. Obviously, 15 minutes to make that decision is kind of crazy. But you could be wrestling with the decision. You could show emotional stakes with why you would choose this person over this person. You could have dialogue that occurs where you're pouring your heart out about why you would want it to be you and not them and all this other stuff, which they cram in right at the end. The other
Yeah,
the what is it? Daddy Eric
yeah,
has his moment. Daddy Eric has this tearful moment. It's like it is moving. His performance is moving. He envisions his daughter in the future, and that's the thing. You get to see all of it. You get to see the sunny ending, happy ending that will be occurring for the characters right before the ending of the movie. So it's like you've already gotten your closure, and now it just has to like come to pass. And it's like a Hallmark movie, dude. The events unfold, all of that happens, right? Were you watching and paying attention to the visuals when he gets to the truck that he has to now take to
Oh
leave
yeah,
the area?
yeah. I mean, like
And he
they
goes
just,
through the stuff and they do a pan at
yeah,
each article that
yeah,
validates they were telling the truth. It's
yeah,
so
yeah,
hokey and ham-fisted.
yeah. It's the exact opposite of something I want to see. They definitely should have ended that movie with the gunshot. Leave it ambiguous. Let us believe what we want to believe.
Sure.
If it was true or not about the apocalypse. Like even the drive to the diner was ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's so dumb. And there are all these this diner is filled with people. The world was ending a second ago, but they
Yeah,
all still are here. And you hear someone on the phone. Yeah, I think it's gonna be okay.
yeah,
What? Like again, this is Hallmark. This is made for TV lines. What the
yeah.
hell? This is not a blockbuster budget movie with a director like M Night. Like, what are you doing? It's insane. I don't understand how the disconnect, the cognitive dissonance that occurs with like how things get to this point. I am so confused. Uh, it's so bush league type filmmaking.
Yeah,
Uh, I get, so currently this is at like a 67 critically and 64 on Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb, I think, must have it at a 5 something, I would hope. 6.2. That'll change, I'm sure.
yeah,
But look, it's, man,
yeah.
don't answer this knock at the cabin.
Uh,
I would say I gave it a 3, obviously, but I would understand. This is a more palatable viewing experience than Infinity Pool. Infinity Pool
oh,
is
sure.
artsy type horror movie, niche type movie genre. Knock at the Cabin is palatable to the mass audiences, and
Yeah,
so
I think was it even rated PG-13? Because it or was it R?
no,
Because
it's R, but it's so unnecessarily R. There's no
yeah,
need for it to be R
there's no need for like
because they don't even do any gore.
all the
There's no
vi
real.
oh yeah, all the violence was like off screen, cut away,
Yeah,
whatever.
you
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
see
it
it.
must have been like
It's just
language.
the f bombs. It's just
Yeah,
the f bombs. I think because yeah, Daddy Andrew, I think, goes
yeah,
through a tirade with a bunch of f bombs. I think that's
sure.
the only reason.
Yeah, they definitely could have PG-13 this and just mass marketed it. I'm sure teenagers would have enjoyed this movie more than um, you know adults.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's such a thin premise. There's not a lot of interesting things to do there, and because they present it so abruptly and matter of factly, there's nowhere to go with the whole thing. So, like you said, it's a 15-minute movie. It's a short, and it's done. It's
Yeah,
yeah, the flashbacks made no sense. Oh, and here's the other thing too. They this is what's also confusing, and I don't understand the need to have it so focused as a visual length of the movie. They're still on about the two dad thing.
right.
And it's I don't have um a stake in the whole gay lifestyle or what it means to live as an LGBTQ, aside from being an ally. I completely support and endorse all of what that group, and I'll say we because I believe I'd be a part of it, is trying to achieve. But I don't think that bringing it up in this context in this film, where it's like the characters are driven by this need to validate their right to live, and it's like I thought gay dudes were past this shit. I thought they already had their fucking flag in the ground, and this is just life now. This is not something you're questioning or you have to deal with. Maybe their lived experiences is still different and still shit. Like I know I've been called F word all the time in college and grad school, and maybe that still happens with gay men, and especially if they're raising a child, uh, especially an ethnically diverse child. Maybe that still is a thing, but it felt like the way it was so heavy-handed here, it didn't feel realistic. It felt like why these guys are good. Like they don't seem to be so insecure about who they are. Like they seem like they know who they are and they have agency and they don't need to, you know, I think it was Daddy Andrew that was saying like I've done so much, I'm not gonna let this go. We have
Yeah.
a right to live. We don't care about anyone else because no one cared about us. And they do the flashbacks with the gay bashing stuff because Ron Weasley hates the gays. Apparently, he was taking a page out of JK's book or some shit. And so
Oh,
I wonder. I'm kidding.
Zan.
Uh, and so Turf Wars, and it's like, what was the need? I didn't see the need for it. I didn't get it. Like, and then they do the parents are not accepting. Like, what's the point of having that in there?
well,
Like
well,
that. I felt weird about it.
I mean, I think the point was to show why Andrew is being so obstinate in believing this. Like Andrew needed the motive. Is he like Eric was leaning into it. So Andrew was the one resisting. So why was Andrew resisting? The parents, the the bottle at the bar.
Hmm.
He has
He's
this.
resisting me.
He had PTSD therapy from that event, which
Emphasis
they
on the
mentioned.
D.
Yes. Um, so I think that's what those flashbacks actually were all about. Were
Yeah,
just
but I
about
mean, like, is that
informing on
necessary? It's so
Andrew's.
much
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't
because it's
think
like a little. Yeah.
I think it's tough. Like I think maybe the writer who wrote the book or the writer who adapted the screenplay that was not M. Night, maybe really wanted to talk about this issue, and that's why it was in there. Like,
Right. Which.
so maybe it like we're trying to say look how modern our way of thinking is.
Right.
Why is this an issue? Well, it is an issue for some people, and it is an
Yeah, and
issue
I
for this
imagine
era.
that is true. I believe that that's more than likely. Obviously, I've
Yeah.
experienced plenty with the environments that I've been in where it's like, why are you still, in the, 1800s with your thinking? But
Right, right.
I just don't think like what is it? What is the term whenever it's like you already put yourself as a victim? It's like and you personify it like as if you're a victim and you don't. It's like you're no one says you're a victim, but you're putting yourself in that light in this like inferior, weakened state. Just own the shit, like
Yeah,
make it different. I don't know. I get what you're saying, and I think that that is true. I think that's probably part of the impetus for why they did it the way that they did. I just it's frustrating because it seems like you don't have to do that. Like it's accepted. It is law. It is known.
yeah, yeah. We're
Let's
all
move
on
on.
board. It's 2023, but
Yeah. Let's just
some people still get gay bashed in a bar, and that fucks them up.
yeah.
And we're sorry if that ever happened to you.
Yeah, we are. That's where like vigilante stuff. It's like you feel good about being there if you could. It would have been different, but not really. You
But
just
not
like
really.
hide, pretend like you didn't see it.
Yeah. I feel like, oh, I wonder what that was all about. Okay. Knock at the Cabin. I give it a 4.
Yeah, and I landed at a 3. This is not a. It's not the strongest showing for M Night. Stick to his stuff from the '90s. I would say like the ones we mentioned earlier.
Yep.
His first 4 or 5 were great, and it just really gets middling after that. And I've cried at the Village, dude. At Signs, I loved those movies. Those are
Yeah.
tearful, emotional, fun movies.
Yeah, I know a
That's
lot
me.
of people hated The Village. A lot of people made fun of it, like that might have been the beginning of his
Sure.
bad movies, but I really liked The Village as well.
Yeah, I jived with it.
Yeah.
Bryce and stupid dude that went, you know, just the right amount of R word with his role, and then went into do the pianist. He was good.
Mm,
Joaquin was in there. He was good. William Hurt has a wonderful
uh,
monologue near the end. Love saves the world moves for love. It's a beautiful movie. Look,
yeah.
at any rate. So let's wrap it up, bro.
Let's wrap it
So
up
for episode 6 of the podcast for the recently deceased, I'm Rodney Godek.
and nominate Roberts.